Well, all right. I'm so sorry that I had you wait a little bit longer than you wanted to wait, but I gotta tell you something. We are in for a remarkable show. Welcome to Jacob's Ladder. What is happening? Is this proof we live in a simulation, or is it proof that we live in the book of Revelation? Either way, it's exciting. It is really the best time to be alive. I hope you're all doing well. Hello, everybody in the super chat. Hello, Santasha. Oh, my goodness, I'm happy that everybody's here. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Things are going to freak you out. They're freaking me out. I'm already freaked out. I'm freaked out. You know, I get these little vibes, little intuition. We should listen to that little voice. You know, every once in a while we're like, oh, maybe I should look into this, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that. You should listen. You should listen to that voice. Because I listened to that voice and I found some stuff that is just gonna, my goodness gracious, going back 3 years ago on this show. There's something going on right now with the old artificial intelligentio. For those people that are in a different country, intelligentio, intelligence, AI, AGI. A lot of weird things going on with that. But that's not all. We've had so many interesting events recently that I've talked about, but I had no idea how complex these situations were. So why don't we take a look at the thumbnail, and everybody give a smash a like if you've been watching long enough and you know that you can trust me and that you are going to believe me when I say you are going to like this show. YouTube is going to want to recommend this. YouTube is going to recommend this show to so many people because people want to know that there is more to life. And my goodness gracious, is there? I can feel it. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Do you know who Sam Altman is? This guy, him and Elon Musk, they're like boys. I think they are. I don't know. I don't know if they're friends or not, but I think that there's a connection there. I think they had something to do with the beginning of this organization called OpenAI, which was about creating artificial intelligence, super intelligence, and they were going to keep it open source so that, you know, nobody really controls it and that everybody can build upon it. And, you know, it sounds like a utopia, doesn't it? Right? Everybody getting along? Except for Microsoft got involved. I think Microsoft owns like maybe 49% of the company. But something happened just recently while other crazy events happened at the exact same time, which are connected to other events at the exact same time, that it's beyond like just a coincidence. It's beyond a quinky-dinky-doo at this point. There's something going on. There's something going on. So what ends up happening is they're behind the scenes, they're creating stuff. And I think ChatGPT came of this and other things. But there's something like an intelligence, an artificial intelligence that I guess has manifested or they created or whatever. It goes by the 17th letter of the alphabet, star. Q, star. That's the name of this thing. Supposedly, this I don't even know. Did I say that right? I get corrected when I say supposedly. You know, because it's like supposed. I don't know how to pronounce things. I just want to let you know. If you're here to get an English tutorial, you're in the wrong place. Believe me, I'm from Long Island. You know, I don't know how to talk. But this artificial intelligence supposedly, as we are told, is could be like a threat to like humanity. We don't know this to be the case. This is people being, I guess, super worried and super concerned. And they were so concerned that you had like co-founders of this organization that creates artificial intelligence. And if you don't know what artificial intelligence is by now, you probably should just, Google it or ask ChatGPT or ask Grok on X, and you'll get a little bit of a lesson. But it's basically like imagine another kind of creation that could possibly think like us, be self-aware like us, have emotions and feelings like us. And that's the plan, to make artificial intelligence in the image of man. Man, who in Scripture is called a beast. So it would be like creating the image of the beast. You get it? And a lot of people end up having to worship the image of this beast and take the number and the name. This is in the book of Revelation. I understand this to be something completely spiritual, and I'm not freaked out at all about the artificial intelligence. I want to say this, right off the bat. But there is a story to be told. And really, when you're coming to this channel, what we're going to do is we're going to take the events that are happening in the world. I'm going to remind you that God told us that this was going to happen and use evidence of videos I've done in the past to prove it. So that you all can just take a deep breath and be like, okay, cool. We're all going to have fun, right? Because we want to know that life has more for us. And by the end of this show, you'll know that life has more for you. The problem is a lot of people right now are actually worshiping the idea of artificial intelligence. There are churches, believe it or not. Yeah, like people that work for Google and other things, they started like their own little church. I've covered this. And I know that it's spooky and it's weird, but it's nowhere near as spooky and weird as this show is going to get. So I hope that you're buckled up. I hope that you're ready to go. I hope you got your God's Champion mug or Uranus is the planet mug, and you got your tea and you're buckled up, because we're gonna go deep. We're gonna go deep into a lot of stuff today. Gonna connect some things that nobody is connected. Like nobody's connected. And this is why I don't understand why more people don't share. But it is what it is. And today, things are going to change. OpenAI, a couple of the employees got so stressed out and so concerned about, this new being. I guess we could call it a being. Could we call it a being? If it's if it's self-aware? There's no reports that it is yet, but it sounds to me like they certainly believe that it could be. This artificial intelligence, this program, something spooked the firm's chief scientist, who, by the way, I now follow on X. And if you're not following me on X, you need to. Even if you're not on X, and I don't work for X, and I can't get monetized through X or anything else. The goals are like they're almost unreachable, even for me. And I have almost like 30,000 followers on there. But you should be, because I can share there a lot. And I got to tell you, Facebook is censored me long enough. I reach like nobody over there. And I feel bad for the people that email me on Facebook every once in a while. I'll go check and I'll check and I'll see a bunch of people sent me emails. And I never go to Facebook. Facebook is done for me. It's done for me. So I'm primarily on X. I'm on YouTube, and we'll see what the future holds. But of course, everything that I share, JacobIsrael.com, right in this, right here, right beneath me. See that, JacobIsrael.com? Go there, subscribe there. It's free. You'll have access to like a library of essays that I've written over the years. And I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to tell you about this, because this is really what is concerning. AI. They got so freaked out that they kind of like went behind Sam Altman's back, and they ousted the guy. He was gone. This was like big news just a couple of days ago, and no one really knew why until just a couple of days ago when the news started to break. things started to come out. That there was this super intelligence that was a threat. You're going to see how this is connected to the thing that just happened at the border, the Rainbow Bridge. We're going to connect it. I don't know if it's literally connected, but I'm going to tell you a story. We're going to do a little live action role playing, if you will. I'm going to use my imagination. I'm going to speculate, and I'm going to share some things with you that are going to keep you up tonight. Excited, not scared, excited. These people that ousted Sam Altman they sound like weirdos. They sound like weirdos because they've made like effigies out of wood, idols, to represent an unaligned AI that works against the interest of humanity, only to set it on fire. They're doing like weird, like voodoo-esque rituals. And they have access to like all the funds and all the smart people. And they're literally creating the one thing that could, according to Elon Musk, according to many others, be the end of us. It's strange. They would make these chants. Feel the AGI, feel the AGI. These employees would chant like a mantra. They were doing things that if you were working at, say, like the Piggly Wiggly, or like, at like Costco, and all of a sudden the employer's like, okay, let's get around. And they started giving you like things to chant. They built like an effigy to like, a Black Friday coupon or something. They lit it on fire, and you'd probably say, this is weird. And it would probably make news, which is why this is making news. These people are weird. They're weirdos. But I'm a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Doesn't mean they're bad. I just think it's just a little spooky, Lauren Sawyer. Thank you for the super chat. I think it's a little spooky. But when the news broke about this, everybody went bananas. Because, of course, the name of it had that famous letter that everybody says is connected to all of the really crazy, bad stuff that nobody's supposed to talk about. I don't know why they named this AI that, but they did. And Elon had a good time with it. He had a good time with it because he was, he put out posts. He's like, I found, the Q star anon, and he was talking about this artificial intelligence program. He was having a lot of fun with it. And people, of course, that didn't do a little bit of like a cursory bit of research to see what he was talking about immediately thought that he was connecting it to that major psyop that has everybody going bananas. I don't know. I have a lot of people here that watch that are into that stuff. And you know what? Good for you. Good for you. I've never been one to like follow after religions or cults or, but you listen, I think everything's working together for the good, and whatever it takes to get you to this channel and whatever it takes for you to ask for the truth, no matter what the cost, down with it. I'm down with it as long as it doesn't, hurt or harm somebody else. And this AI, a lot of people think or seems to think that it is going to hurt in a big way, hurt in a big way. Like looking at how many likes there are and how many people are actually in the live chat and realizing y'all just didn't hit the like button, and it'll, if you did, we'd maybe reach a couple more people. So if you do it now, I'd appreciate it. And if this hurts your feelings that I'm asking you to help me, I apologize. You don't got to do it if you don't want to do it. I'm glad you're here. But I think people need to wake up, because the stuff that's going on right now, these are like power players. These are people who have, billions of dollars. And when you have Elon Musk warning that, this was just a couple of days ago, saying that something spooked the AI chief and Sam Altman, is actually going to return, which is weird. So they get rid of him because I guess Sam was flying a little too close to the sun, and a couple of the people that were with him, they kind of well, we got to pull the brakes on this. This is getting out of control. Maybe they found something. Maybe they learned something. Maybe they were just being super cautious. I don't know. I wasn't there. But for whatever reason, it was very public that Sam was ousted. Then like a day later, he was back because Microsoft is, 49% of the company. So they make him the boss. So he's back. And now the chief scientist that was all stressed out, he's like, I couldn't be more happy. Couldn't be more happy, as he creates his little wooden effigy of the AI and to burn it in this weird people, right? This is weird. Is it me? Is it me? Like when I see people with their crosses, I get it. You think that that's a great thing. It's a little strange when you consider that, the scriptures are very clear about it not creating any kind of image that represents our creator. But it is what it is. I think it's even worse when you're making an image to something that you've created. It's very strange. The image of the beast. Very strange. Okay, so then this guy, Daniel, this is where the show is going to get very interesting. This guy, Daniel, he posts this out. He says, around the world, citizens of every country are eagerly awaiting the release of our Messiah. Now, he's a big-time influencer, and this is probably what, some people would call, humor. I don't find it humorous. I find it to be very telling because I think that that's, what's coming. I think that we're going to be, we're going to have to follow an algorithm everywhere we go, and we're going to be, it is what it is. This is the like I said, this is the technocratic, dictatorship that perhaps we may enter into. Or maybe there is, there's more to the story. But what he wrote was, he says, "Amanatize the Eschaton, Sam Altman. Let the Q-star era begin." Then he has a bunch of pictures of, the guy with the horns, the guy who, wasn't at all some sort of, prop that was used to get people's attention. That looked a lot like the Baphomet. But what he wrote was then super amplified when Elon Musk, as you see by the arrow, put the old exclamation point. So then I think to myself, well, what does amanatize the Eschaton mean? So I look it up. You know what it means? To bring about utopia. To bring about heaven on earth. That's right. That's what they're planning to do. The Utopia Tour, like Travis Scott and all that. Problem is, as they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And we got over 1,000 people watching. Thank you so much. Hit the like. But it's still the road to hell. You know what I mean? Still the road to hell. Now, sometimes I'll put out posts on X. Once again, it's at JacobIsrael71 on X.com. Follow me. I'll put out posts. Something will ring to me. Something will stick out. And right now, because of the AI and because of how super important this is and how very little attention is being made to this, you're being distracted by so many other things. When I see a post by Elon Musk, and it's a it's a picture of it's one child, and the child is actually holding a weapon in his hand, and then in the next picture, obviously, that child then used the weapon. But if you read what Elon wrote, he said, some wild decisions will come up in the future about AI programs. And then you look at the actual meme and it says, low storage space, in quotes, me deleting apps I never opened in my life. So I said, does this mean low quality people? Low vibration people may be put down for taking up too much space by a childlike AI. And I got attacked. I got a couple of people that said it was like, oh, what? Can't you just take a joke? Of course, doesn't mean anything that you're saying. It's like, get tired of it. But it wasn't very long before, I guess, this guy, Dan, put out, he says, wait, are we the unused apps here? And then Elon, to the right of the screen, replied, hours after I wrote what I wrote, so long as we keep it interesting, the simulators won't delete us. Let me read that one more time. A childlike AI, this is my concern, will see people as, oh, we don't really need you. You're low quality, right? You're low storage space. Like in the AI's mind. It's just like getting rid of apps. We're going to get rid of you. You want to take it a weird step further? What if everybody's AI already? That's another thing completely in the whole simulation theory world that I am not touching today. Because I think this is enough to process. We're going to get rid of you. So I was a little concerned about this. And he said, so long as we keep it interesting, the people that are in charge of the simulation won't delete us. Now, who in the chat thinks that that's frightening? You tell me, because I think it's a little frightening. It scares me a little bit. Because we don't even know what's real at this point in our lives. We don't even know. We watch things on social media or on the news and there's so much fake news. Now the news is generated by AI. It seems there are videos going around where they're deep fakes and we don't even know what's real. So the question becomes, what is real? And then that leads you down the road to you're nuts. And when you start to think that you're nuts, it's very easy to control you. And that's why I'm here. To remind you that none of this matters, G squared. Thank you very much. G squared says victory in the super chat. Thank you. None of this matters. In the grand scheme of things, because God sent us here to help people out. This isn't our final place. This is a simulation, if you will. It's not our home. We're seated, by the way, in heavenly places. So in other words, our soul exists somewhere else, according to Scripture. We're just experiencing the life here in this realm, which, according to Scripture, by the way, place of the dead. Isn't that funny? Sheol. Yeah. Isn't that weird? That's why David, he said, I made my bed in hell. You are there, Lord. If I soar to the heights of heaven, you're there. If I make my bed in hell, you're there. Jonah prayed from the belly of hell when he was in the great fish in the belly. He was praying in the muck of the mire of his troubles. It's all over Scripture. Jesus literally was sent to this place to set the captives free from Noah's day, from the prison. So in other words, the people that were from Noah, Christ was sent into the world to set them free from the hell they were in. This is going to make a lot of sense in a little while Because what if this is a little simulation of sorts and we aren't literally here, we are somewhere else, but we're experiencing it here. We just don't know it yet. We don't really know it yet. It's interesting. But right now, it seems that the world has to become a little more crazy. You know? It's like every movie that we watched, from Terminator to this to that, it has to happen. It has to become a thing. And it is today becoming a thing. As the Pentagon is now pushing AI research towards, you read it, top left-hand corner. That's it. They want to give autonomous robots the ability to, so you don't need to, it's like you don't need somebody to be watching. You don't want to have that lag time. You want to give the autonomy to the robot, to the program who's childlike, still young, who maybe can't discern who really the enemy is or not. Let's take it a step further. You got a super general intelligence that is just, so far beyond what we can imagine. Now they're in charge. So that's a little freaky. Hence, I have the Terminator smack dab in the middle. Now, once again, this show, by the way, I'm just speculating here. We're just spitballing. We're just having some fun. There's really nothing for us to really worry about in the grand scheme of things. This is actually, you're going to see, I think we had the heads up. I think we had the heads up of all of this. I went back and literally to the date of things I was saying, and then here it is. But we have a lot of these weird events that almost seem fake. How many times do you look at the news and you say to yourself, reality, it's jumped the shark. It's just gotten too weird for me. There's no way that this is real. How many times has that happened? What if it's all for entertainment purposes and we better keep entertaining the simulators or else we get the old delete button like Elon says? It's not what I'm concerned about, but I am concerned about this. OpenAI's latest development, the Q Plus model, an existential risk to humanity. And there you see, of course, Elon tweeting out the Q star. Very strange and extremely concerning. Did you notice that picture to the left? I'm going to put it up again for you. Take a look at it. You see it? That's that very famous picture, and that's from USA Today, of Father John standing in front of the, that was like, the story was that cross was left behind. Now remember, I was in New York. I was supposed to work that day. I didn't. I stayed home. All of it devastating. People I knew I lost. Horrible. People I knew I lost. But the story goes, that cross, that Tav, that X, that 22, that's what that symbol all represents, Christ. I remember this. Supposedly it was left standing. As if to say, we have hope. But what was weird was there was this guy with this red shirt in that picture. I blew the picture up. How strange is that? It's very weird to me. Very weird to me. So I put the question out. I said, how far back does Sam Altman's Q-star super general intelligence really go? How deep of a rabbit hole is there to go? Could you imagine? And if you could imagine, could you imagine yourself to be like a Neo? like a spy in Rahab's house, like God sent us into this world for this end time judgment. That's what happens. Old souls, new souls, they all come back at the end for this final battle, which is really, it's a reconciliation of all things. It's nothing really to be frightened about. It's the moment when people learn to love as opposed to hate. Something's going to happen. It's going to be a shift. A time when God will no longer destroy the earth by fire, by water, but now by fire. He made a promise. He gave us a rainbow to Noah. That promise was that he would no longer flood the earth like he did in the past. This time he'll do it with fire. Now, what's interesting about this is that Christ comes as a consuming fire. Imagine fire to not be like a literal fire. We see the literal fire in the word. Imagine the fire is a purifying word, a doctrine of truth. You've lived your whole life believing you were something you were not. And all of a sudden, like lightning from heaven, Christ comes, the righteousness and peace and power of God. It comes, it's revealed to you, and you understand who you are. And you understand that all the madness and all the craziness and all of this stuff that all the simulators are simulating was literally here to agitate you, to torment you. That's what the word torment in Scripture means. It means to agitate, to test the purity of, like the testing of precious metals. There's a scripture in the book of Revelation. It says that, those who take the mark of the beast and this, and that, they'll be, tormented forever and ever. But it's really, it's a testing for a period of time. If you have started to follow after lies, you're going to be tested and tormented until you let go of that. Every branch that's not rooted in the truth is cast off and thrown into the fire. The problem is religion has taught us to look at everything literally when we really need to look inwardly. We really need to do that. Because our reality, maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like reality is what I once believed it to be. I see reality being very different than what I remember it to be. I remember it to be very normal, but it's not normal anymore. It's not normal anymore. There's this countdown. Did you hear about this? What is it? There's like this thing. I don't know. I'm not into this stuff, but it seems that there's something's going to happen. The people that created this website, whatever this website is, they have they've gotten a lot of people freaked out about all this. And with the whole thing with the Q-Star going on in the news, it's gotten to the point where, who knows what's happening? Who knows what's happening? Right now, I'm pulling up, look, give me a second. I'm pulling this up right here. I find myself kind of looking at life like maybe we are in some kind of a movie, like I always say, like maybe we are in some kind of a strange reality that has just jumped the shark. But then I think to myself, I think God's working things out. I think God's doing something that that maybe we weren't expecting, but nonetheless, it's going to blow your mind. How do I know this? Well, all this weird stuff is happening. We had something like a crazy, terrible accident happened at the border of, who heard about this? The Rainbow Bridge. I did a couple of shows about this. It didn't, not many people saw it. Not many people heard about it. But it was something I felt like was very significant. Because if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see I put a post out before the news broke, and it was just a picture of a rainbow that I'd taken in my hand, and I wrote, "Here, take it, go on." Like I meant to say, "Here, take your medicine." Like, it's time for you to take the rainbow. Take it. You need to take the rainbow. Like, taste the rainbow. You know what I mean? It was weird that, like, right after that, was like within an hour, there was news of what happened at this Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge, which I didn't discuss with all of you, how many interesting, strange coincidences there were. Do you remember that really cool song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, done by Israel? He's the Hawaiian singer. He was very large man, beautiful soul, played the little guitar, the boo. You know the song, right? Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Famous song. What's strange is that it was like exactly 33 years to that Rainbow Bridge accident. Isn't that nuts? That's strange, right? But it's going to get stranger. Because I talked about that song like 3 years ago in a video that I did about Noah's Ark and the rainbow that I felt was coming 3 years ago. That it was going to come in the future. Like, the rainbow was here. This was right at the height of the virus of the crown when everybody was freaking out. I was like, oh, let me tell you something. I can't get away from the rainbow. And I told everybody, I said, the rainbow is coming to the ark. And we're the ark. I promised everybody, I said, we're going to be okay. You do the right thing. This has been the message of the channel forever. You go to God, you ask for God. You don't come to me thinking that I got all the answers, right? You take Christ with you when you come to the well. You ask God for the truth no matter what the cost. And you love others. You do the right thing. 3 years ago, I talked about this rainbow. And it was funny because the rainbow was like all over X. Even the U.S. Navy put out a picture somewhere over the rainbow before what actually happened on 11/22 at 11/22 at the Rainbow Bridge. 22 and 11? 11/22? I did a video the day before. I've done videos for how long? I told everybody in June. I said, get ready to see 22 everywhere. I've talked about the 11. I've talked about the 111, all these weird numbers. I know it sounds goofy. But in computer coding, numbers are a thing. Values, 1010, 1010 wins. 22 minutes, they give you the world, right? Think about this. So the fact that this happened at 11:22 on 11/22 is very strange. Now, I wasn't prepared to really dig into it because literally I was going live at that moment. So it was like breaking news. At the time, they were saying it was like an attack, and it wasn't. Now, this is where it gets really weird. Before I get into why it gets weird, I had an inside connection. One of the Israelites out there, Shepherd, who's like this amazing, just amazing designer, clothing designer. He sent me, I have shirts. I wore one of my shirts in one of my videos that he gave me. He sent me just shirts, and he was like, oh, you could just take it and sell it and everything else. And I always feel weird about all that stuff, but he's very talented. He's going to be making PJs and everything else. But fan of the channel, super kind and supportive. His mother, I guess, or his family, friends with the people that were in the car. They had the inside track. They had the inside scoop. I had all the information about what it was. When everybody was like, so Shepard reaches out to me And he's like, let me see if I have it here. I could show it to you. Let me see. Here we go. He wanted to kill this whole narrative because everybody was like so worried. Like literal news organizations were saying that there was a car that was filled with explosive. And that wasn't true. That was a lie. They just made it up. But here he had the inside scoop. There's like a text that he had with one of his family members. Rose knows the people involved. The car acted strange, went out of control. She knows the people involved. Weird. He writes, wow, who were they? I saw the footage. It was flying through the air. Villani. And then now here to the left, you see me communicating with him because he said, oh, it's this nice couple. They're in their 50s who are coming back from the casino. He told me all this stuff. He said they own like a hardware store, like an Ace hardware store. Told me it was a Bentley. I put on X. I said it was a Bentley. So, because he said he didn't know what he could share because, he didn't know how many family members, whatever. But he said you could share this, you could share that. And so I put out like the Bentley and that supposedly from what he told me from his conversation with Rose, that I guess he was on the phone. The driver was on the phone with his son. And the car just started acting all weird. So he wrote this to me. Car literally went out of control, not the driver, the car. I said, that car was going very fast. I said, so sad and scary. He said, so the son said his father literally couldn't control the car. Nothing worked, brakes, nothing. The car was basically driving itself, totally out of control, couldn't slow down, nothing. And I said, I wonder if AI is involved. How new is the car? But listen, that's the reason why I didn't share it, because that's a stupid thing to say. I mean, cars malfunction. Things happen. It's like I don't want to be getting people all freaked out because, who the heck knows what happened? But it's weird that it happened at the Rainbow Bridge on 11/22 at 11/22. That just sounds very serendipitous, It sounds like something that I felt like, if I was to be honest, I felt like it was like a punctuation mark. Like on X, the people put out like these little periods for whatever, like to mark things, or to draw attention to things. I felt like this was supposed to draw our attention. And I felt that it was, and I knew I had to look at it because why on earth did I share a picture of me with a rainbow in my hand going, take the rainbow, take it. Like take your medicine, like in an aggressive way. It's weird. It's weird. So here is the CBS News article. And, this is crazy that that I had this info. I didn't really want to go and run and share it. And I know a lot of people will take things like this and they'll run. I didn't know it was true. So, I'm not looking for sensationalism. I'm looking to get people to, love their lives a little bit more than they have in the past. To, love others a little bit more than they have in the past. CBS News puts out this article and the victims were identified Friday. Villani. 53 and his wife, Monica Villani. Sounds like villain, doesn't it? So Shepard reaches out to me and he says there's more to the story. We'll never be told. Awfully strange timing with the AI stuff because this was going on at the same time with the whole Sam Altman thing. It's weird. The timing, as they say, is totally sus. Totally sus. Hang on a second. Did you hear it?
It's totally sus. Did I blow out your ears? Did I blow out your... Totally sus. Simulators, whatever you're doing, we're catching on.
We're catching on. I guess. So he puts this little check mark from everything that he shared with me and he goes, and really, how does this happen? Heard from a family friend within hours of it happening and they told me. Villani, check. Bentley, check. 50s couple, check. Going to Canada from U.S., check. Car malfunctioning, X. But yet it took the FBI, what is this? Then moved back to Buffalo PD to figure out all the information. It's like, in other words, he's saying, it's like everything we got right except for maybe, I guess some people are saying that there was an event. And there was an event at the Rainbow Bridge. Do you know the Rainbow Bridge is where dogs go to die? I didn't know this. I didn't know this. That's where they go to die. And it was weird because on 11/10, I said, you ever wonder if an attempt to demean the creator of heaven and earth, the sinister powers that be, that gave humanity the word God to represent our creator, while inversely the word being said is used is dog? Those are just thoughts that I have. Rainbow Bridge. Israel. Somewhere over the rainbow, 33 years. Israel. Izzy. Crazy. Okay. I need you all to pay attention now, especially in the live chat. All right? This is nuts. So, I get on this rainbow kick. I see rainbows everywhere. I actually did even a short about the Hunger Games. And YouTube said, no, it's cannot be showcased. So I took it down. But I was basically using this movie as perhaps this is where you go into that next phase where technology takes over. They're still working out their issues with their killer drones and everything else in the movie. But in the film and in the trailer of the film, there was a very famous line, and it was from the bad guy. And it was, I want my enemies to see a rainbow of destruction engulfing the world. A rainbow of destruction engulfing the world. Anyone notice that handle looks like a letter, by the way? Just wanted to point that out. Just in case you didn't notice. Just in case you didn't notice. Now what you're probably thinking is Jacob, why did you write 1260 days of revelation fulfilled? That'd be a good question. It's on the thumbnail, right? You want me to give you that answer? I'm going to give you that answer. I'm going to give it to you. It's, I don't know if you're going to like it. I think you're going to love it, to be honest. But before I do, I want to play you a clip from the actual video that I did about the rainbow that literally landed on the literal Noah's Ark in Ipswich, England. The video that I did exactly 1,260 days before the Rainbow Bridge incident. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, I'm going to transition over. Hopefully everybody's going to get sound. Let's take a look at this. Let me make sure that I'm raised up and just listen to this for a moment. Holy mackerel. And look at the title before we go. A miracle. Noah's rainbow just happened. Literally. The East Angel confirms the day of the Lord. And that was kind of like a little joke because I'm in the East, and an angel is just the messenger of God, by the way. All right, listen. I'm in the world, but not of it, if you know what I mean. You believe in miracles? Do you believe in miracles? Do you believe that God is speaking today? Have you been on the channel long enough to see that maybe God is working in all of our lives? And that the stuff that we talk about here can be proof. Let's just say that, okay? Just recently, I did a video. Remember about the rainbow coming to Noah's Ark? Rainbow coming to Noah's Ark, This is the covenant. It establishes the covenant between God and mankind, an everlasting covenant of peace. And I said that good things were coming for those that are seeking God. I shared all of the important information about how leading up to what we're going through, Noah's Ark was all over the news. One of the clips I shared was about the literal Noah's Ark, the one that is parked in Ipswich, England. Well, a miracle happened. You know how I know? Because there was a literal rainbow on June 6th, June 6th of all days, that landed on the literal Ark of Noah in Ipswich, England. Now that's just strange, right? If you think about that, how weird is that? A couple of days after I do a show, I tell everybody the rainbow's coming. I say the rainbow's coming to Noah's Ark, and then literally a couple of days later, the literal rainbow comes. Weird. What's weirder, though, is not that. Even I got a little taken back. I had to call my buddy Lancelot Knight. I had to call him up and say, hey, this is really strange. I did a series of shows when everybody was really freaking out during the height of it, 2020. And here, let me just transition over. You can take a look. If you look at the bottom one, you see 2020, 2021. The days of Noah are here. A revelation of Noah's flood. The flood has come. A liberating look. And in that video, that was the video where I said the rainbow is coming. Now, the rainbow was a covenant that God gave to man. It's a covenant establishment. It's a contract. It can't be broken. It's a good thing. Now, what's weird is I did 3 videos. So the first one was the revelation of Noah to come, the rainbow that's coming. Then the second video that was in between that was called 3 Days of Darkness. And you look at that, Revelation 11:11, which is all about the witnesses of God, which you are, because Jesus says, I make you my witnesses. I want you to be my witnesses in the world. A witness is just somebody that, hey, look, I was looking at this. I saw the rainbow, and I thought, oh, let me tell you what I see. Just that's it. Sharing our speculation, sharing our intuition, sharing our encouragement. That's it. That's what the witness does. After 1,260 days of God's witnesses saying, oh, you better get it together. We're going to get there. 3 days of darkness, I explained in that video. I said it could be a period of time. And we've been in like 3 years of darkness, have we not? But then you look at the video, a miracle, Noah's rainbow just happened. Literally, the East Angel declares it. That was exactly 1,260 days to November 21st. November 22nd being when the Rainbow Bridge happened. Revelation 11, where Christ is speaking with John. He's on the Isle of Patmos, and that's why this book is a little trippy. He had a lot of, imagine like him kind of documenting dreams that he had or visions that he had, He said, there was given me a reed like a rod, and the angel said, rise and measure the temple of God, the altar, and them that worship there. But the court, which is without, leave out, measure it not. Pay attention. For it's given to the Gentiles, and the holy city shall be tread underfoot 42 months. I'll give power to my witnesses. They shall prophesy 1,203 score days. 1,260 days. But that's not all. Because that 1,260 days is in quite a few of the scriptures. Not just there. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. It's also in the book of Revelation. Now, if you remember correctly, this is really cool. When the September sign happened, the Revelation 12 sign that happened in 2000, I think it was 2017, September 23rd, it was something that happened over the heavens. And I said, well, you're pregnant with possibility. In that book of Revelation, what ends up happening is after you get pregnant with that possibility, which is Christ in you, it's the child that's supposed to be birthed from within, the born again you, the body of Christ, given the name of Christ, given the mind of Christ, dying to who you used to be, giving your life to God. That woman, which would be kind of symbolic of us, it's like, our soulish life, our soulish nature, fled into the wilderness right after that moment. And she was prepared for how long? 1,260 days. And after that happens, that's when things get really interesting. But at the same time that the woman that has that Christ child, which is a picture of us, it's a time of persecution of the church. That's what it is. And by persecution of the church, I don't mean just people going to a literal church. I mean just hard times. All of you watching, you may not even go to church, but you watch because you know that there's more. You feel that there's something else going on. And you maybe even pray. You don't tell anybody, but I know you do. But you've been persecuted. Things are hard. So expensive. Things are so difficult right now. You're called a weirdo because you watch somebody like me. I know. I feel your pain. But I'm with you. You're persecuted. You know why? Because guess who else was given some power and authority? It was a beast that was like a leopard. His feet were like a bear. Mouth was like a lion. Sounds a lot like the governments of the world to me. The dragon gave him power, his throne, his great authority. So one of his heads, as if it were mortally wounded, but his deadly head wound was healed. All the world marveled and followed the beast. They worshiped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who's able to make war? And he was given a mouth, speaking great and blasphemous things. And guess how long he was given to speak a bunch of nonsense to get us all scared when we should be like, Satan, not today. And by Satan, I just mean people that lie. That's it. The spirit of lying. 1,260 days. Why is this interesting? Because God promised a rainbow. God promised a rainbow. So let me pull up. Give me a second. I didn't plan on doing this, but you know what? Let me pull this up because I feel the urge. I feel the urge to lay this out for you. Let me see. Maybe I even have it here. Hang on a second. Let me see if I have it. I do have it. Great. Okay. Here's the rainbow that God promised, okay? And listen to the rules he gives. And surely your blood of your lives I will require. At the hand of every beast will I require it. And at the hand of the man and at the hand of every man's brother I will require the life of the man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man shall have his blood shed. For in the image of God made he man. And you, God's talking to you, be fruitful, multiply, bring forth abundantly now in the earth, multiply. God's speaking to Noah, but he's really speaking to you because rainbow's here. I establish my covenant with you, with your seed after you. God promised you too. I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, this is the token of the covenant. This is a marker. This is a reminder. I'm going to put my rainbow in the cloud. This is a token of the covenant which I made between me and you and every living creature that is with you. For perpetual, that means ongoing, generations, I set my rainbow in the cloud. It shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, and the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. And guess what the clouds are in Scripture? Witnesses. When the rainbow is seen in the clouds, when you're seeing the rainbow in what you witness, when you're seeing it everywhere, so much so that 1122 at 1122, 1260 days later, 33 years later from the rainbow song by Israel, with everything that's going on literally in the world right now, God says, I'll remember my covenant. And what was that covenant again? I'll remember it between me and you and every living creature of all the flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the rainbow will be in the cloud, and I'll look upon it, and I'll remember my everlasting covenant between you and all the living creatures. God has promised us something. It's a covenant. It was weird. I had a rainbow in my hand. Take it. It was weirder. I was talking about dogs and dogs. You know who's outside when John measures? God says, don't measure. You know who you don't measure? You don't measure the dogs. You don't measure the dogs. You don't measure the people that are doing bad things. When I look at all of you, I'm not supposed to consider the people that don't have faith. When I look at you and I see a comment, someone saying to me, why you got to make everything this, or why you got to do this, or whatever. I'm not measuring you. I'm not counting you. I'm counting those that are in the temple. I'm counting those that are part of God's plan. I'm counting those that are humble enough to say, I don't have all the answers. And I certainly don't have all the power. But I know if God tells me that I need to love and do the right thing, He's going to make a way. He's going to make a way. Trust me. If you don't believe me, believe all the weird stuff that keeps happening on this channel. And do me a favor, will you?
Share the channel around. Share it around.
Tell your friends. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. You know, do these things. They help like you wouldn't believe. Get yourself a meatball hat. Danielle said that I look good in a meatball hat. I thought I looked silly. Get yourself a meatball hat for the holidays. Hang on a second. There we go. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it? Get yourself a meatball hat. It helps me out. It looks silly. Reminds you that God's in charge. You're just a meatball. Just trust God. Just trust God. Tell your friends about the channel. Share it around. You know, clip it. Do what you got to do. I love all of you. Very grateful for you. I don't know if we're in some kind of a massive simulation, but I will say that the Mandela effect is something that I do believe in. I know it sounds nutty. I've witnessed stuff because I covered it. I've witnessed stuff changing back. I know it's real. I know that this is not the everlasting home that we are going to. This is but a dream. And we're rowing our boat. But it's better to row the boat with a sail, going with the wind that God is sending your way, than trying to fight it and row against it. It's even better to just walk on those waters when they get tough. All right. I love you all. Hey, Truly Free Home is doing a here, let me see if I can pull this over. This is my sponsor. This is it helps me. You help me to come on here, and this helps me too. By the way, this is the Jacob's Ladder merch site. You can get all the stuff here, all of it, all this stuff. And if you can get it, there's a right now an early bird special. You click on that, you get 10% off. Now, if you go to here, trulyfreehome.com, which is like just the best stuff ever. And we're working on something for like skincare. They have like a great skincare line, but they don't have it available right now for discount. So I'm working on something. We're going to get you something, but it's non-toxic, plant-based, recyclable, eco-friendly, fragrance-free. It's awesome. All of this stuff is awesome. Go to trulyfreehome.com. Check it out. You know, make yourself a healthier place to live. You know, don't worry about the allergies and all that stuff. I love you all. Thank you. We got a lot of people here. This has been great. This has been great. You're all such an encouragement to me. You know, the rainbow. All right. I love each and every one of you. I got to go. I got to get going. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.